Michael Morales Torres y Pedro Vega para Lucha Libre Online. Nuestro invitado especial en directo desde el Bronx, New York, pero representando a PR, coño. Santana, Mike Santana de TNA Wrestling para el mundo. Man, an absolute honor to have you back here in Lucha Libre Online. All changed, man, both physically and mentally. How are you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling amazing, man. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate this interview, and I'm glad that we go back a long time, so it's pretty cool to have everything come full circle and have me in a different place in my life and in my career, and like you've seen a lot of changes. So yeah, man, this is cool. A lot has happened, and I'm ready to talk about it.
I've been witnessing your evolution since WWL in Puerto Rico. That's a
Yeah.
lot way back. Then Lauer, then tag team, AEW, everything, all the options you had on the table. And now you're a single superstar in TNA Wrestling. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the obvious first, and we're going to be discussing the documentary, which is a masterpiece, in my opinion, that it's going to get to everyone's heart. It's going to be releasing on Monday, June 3rd. So this Monday is going to be available.
Hmm.
Santana, the physical change. What the hell happened with you? Diet, mentally, gym.
Yeah.
You are a
Yeah.
heavyweight. You are in shape. What changed? Like the meal, the mental issue. Like what happened? What changed?
I mean, everything, man. Like I said, February 16th, 2023, that's my sober date. That was the day that I decided to change my life. And I went into rehab, and I did 30 days in an inpatient rehab. And while I was there, I said, like, I got to change my life in every aspect, in every way. And I was on the verge of losing everything. And I didn't look how I look now. I tell you that much. I was 240 pounds. I was a big boy. I was out of shape. I was yeah. So no, but once I started to get clean and go through the process, I knew that I wanted to come back to pro wrestling looking totally different. You know, I didn't want to be the same person mentally, spiritually, or physically. And yeah, I decided to do what I had to do and make changes to dieting, make changes to workouts, make changes to just everything in general, and man, I'm glad I did. Dedication, consistency, and sacrifice, bro. Those are the three things that I really live by. And yeah, like when I first showed up back to TVs, everybody saw me and they were like, "What the hell? Who the hell is that?" It was like it was the same reaction from everyone, and it was a good feeling, because it was like the hard work that I put in, it paid off, and it's still paying off. And yeah, like I took the time that I was out for it, and I put it to use, and I made the changes that I need to make. A lot of people, they get injured, and then they take it as a vacation. It wasn't a vacation for me, not at all. I took the time to literally change my entire life because I had to. There was no other options for me. Um, and yeah, and I'm thankful, and it's still paying off, and I'm still putting in work. Like the work for me never ends. I'm in the gym every day. I'm dieting every day. I'm very strict. I'm very disciplined, especially when you start to see the results, right? Like in the beginning is like I. A mí me gusta comer, yo soy puertorriqueño, so, arroz y bichuela y eso es la vida para mí. So, um, but yeah, like when you start seeing the results, it's like, all right, let's keep this going. Pero sí.
I'm gonna say something very quick, y es que este lunes sale Immerse Mike Santana Return of the Realist. Está disponible en el canal de TNA de YouTube. Es un
Mm-hmm.
documental. It's gonna get to everyone's heart. Habla sobre crecer en el Bronx, sobre los struggles de la vida, sobre una guerra interna, como una carta cambia todo. Yo no creo que yo soy la persona más apropiada para hacer esa pregunta. I'm gonna let a dad actually ask that. Guru.
Santana, sir. Thank you for your time. There's something in your documentary that really touched me in the personal life. I'm a father of one. My
Yep.
baby daughter is my whole life.
Yep.
I saw that card, that Christmas card, that special Christmas card that changed your life. And can you talk to me about that special moment with your daughter before you went on to rehab?
Man. Uh, so during that holiday, it was, the holidays were always rough for me, especially after my dad passed away. Christmas Day was the last time I saw my father alive. And, the holidays since then have been rough because it always takes me back to that last moment that I spent with him and, how much of a good time we were having and just how many plans we were making and all these things, and I lost him a week later. So the holidays were always rough. So this holiday wasn't any different. I was struggling. This I called it my dark period, you know. And I was out, I was out like binging, and my thing, I would be to be honest, I would be out for a few days. I would disappear, and I got back from a long one, and my daughter's mom pulled me to the side, and she let me have it, and that's when she told me and she showed me that letter, and that letter was a huge slap in the face because my daughter, still being young, I thought, oh, she's not paying attention, she's not, I still have some time until she starts to realize or notice things, and that's the furthest from the truth, man, because as you know, our kids pay all the attention in the world to their parents, and they'll realize the smallest things, and she knew Poppy wasn't right, you know, and reading that was a huge like slap to the face and a huge eye opener for me because I was like, what am I doing? I'm giving my daughter the same life that I had that I swore that I would never give her. And I was ashamed of myself, and I'm thankful because honestly, that's the moment that changed my life. She really saved my life. And then, I that happened in December, and then I was still like dealing with the shame of that. So that January, which was my dad's anniversary, also hit me pretty hard. And then I was like, yeah, I gotta go. Like I gotta make some changes. If not, I'm gonna lose my life. And I refuse. I lost my dad, and I refuse to give my daughter that same pain. You know, and I'm thankful. We still have that letter, and I'll keep it forever because that's the moment that changed my life.
Mano, it's a lot en el sentido de que I can identify myself. I think I've never stated this publicly, so here we freaking go. I consider myself a recovering alcoholic.
Yeah,
I find
man.
myself drinking at 8 a.m. near to my laptop in the middle of the pandemic on a Monday, just playing scotch and let's freaking do this. And to me, that was normal. It was like
Yeah, yeah.
mofongo and rice and beans. It was part of life. But
Hmm.
changes have to be made to avoid ended up dead basically or shorting my life. So kudos to you, man. I know it's no an easy process, so
Yeah.
be on proud for that, man. I want to talk about the Bronx, man. Hugo has some crazy stories growing up in the
Hmm.
Bronx, going through gangs to get to the gym, basically,
Yep.
fighting outside the houses, but fighting inside his own home. Your story was struggling, but it was strong. It could have dismantled any single human. So pudo haberle
Yep.
escapado a cualquiera. O sea, lo que vivió tu mamá, el tú no querer estar en tu casa, para no ver a tu vieja en esa condición. How do you overcome algo tan fuerte?
Man, it was you know, when I think back on it is wild because like at that time I didn't think I would see 21. You know, things were just crazy. I wasn't looking that far ahead. Because of the situation that I was living in, I didn't care. You know, when I didn't care about life, I didn't care like, you know, I the things that I had to deal with at home were just like, yo, well, why am I even living? That's why like I got involved in the street and in the street life because as everyone knows, you know, it's the generic I guess gang life story, you know, like you start to try to find your family in the street and that's the worst place to look, you know. And I learned that really quick. You know, I spent a couple of years dealing with some people and I got into some trouble and but I'm thankful, you know, things happened a certain way and it woke me up to realize like, yo, these people don't care about you. They're not your family, you know. They're just there to prey on you. And yeah, man, but it was rough. My mom, you know, she's a single mother, 5 kids. I'm the oldest of 5 kids, you know. I born and raised in the projects. And the things that we had to see and deal with and you know, we didn't have a lot, you know. My mom struggled every single day. Um, you know, I always say I'm a product of Section 8 in the projects, you know what I mean? Like that's the honest truth. And you know, but I'm thankful for those days. I'm truly thankful because if there's one thing my mom taught me was how to survive and how to be independent and how to look out for yourself. And yeah, man, but that was a pretty dark time for me. Pretty dark time. But I'll say this: the day that I was able to put a stop to my mother's abuse was probably the greatest day of my life. Because that day, I never forget it. It was the day before the first day of school. I was 15 years old, and my mom's ex-husband, like I was like, this is it. This shit ends today. And I gave him the biggest ass whipping he ever had of his life, you know. And yeah, still to this day, like I get goosebumps, man, because that was the day that I feel like it's over, you know. Like now you got to deal with me, you know. And but yeah, you know, like that time was rough and but she survived and we all survived, you know. And I'm thankful. But the stuff in the street, man, like I wouldn't take it back either because that shit it taught me as well, you know, and I'm thankful for it.
You are, you know, if I'm not mistaken, tú estás cargando algo en tu pecho. También Pedro tiene una historia similar de un
Mm-hmm.
medallón que él carga. Again, I'm not the right person to do this question. Puro.
Yeah.
Santana, I saw the documentary. You have and a gear, something that your father always says, and you got a chain with your father's picture.
Yeah.
I got a chain too with my late aunt that died from cancer with a chain and a photo of her because she was my biggest fan.
Mm-hmm.
How did that motivate you every day when you see your father? What your father was your number one fan, your hero.
Yeah.
What can you talk to me about you doing that, you carrying your father's legacy always?
Oh man. Like you said, my dad was my biggest cheerleader, my biggest supporter. And the relationship we had, it was more than just father son. Like we were like brothers, you know. We were able to talk about anything. No, it was a judgment free zone. Um, and he always kept it real with me. Like my dad was the type of person that he would always say, and my dad was blind, so he would always say, why not be honest and why not keep it real with someone when I can't see their reaction anyway. So yeah, but yeah, our relationship was very, very special. And it's one of the reasons why I even chose to grow out my hair after he passed away and during the pandemic, is because he had long hair, and everyone growing up my entire life, everyone said that I looked just like him. So my thing was that I wanted to be able to look in the mirror and see my father, and that was my way of staying close to him and having him, and also having that chain and seeing him always and knowing that he's always with me. Like that's a huge thing for me. Um, but yeah, my dad, man, like was a very, very special being, and this whole pro wrestling thing was very important because my dad, his biggest dream was to become a detective, right? And when he was younger, he took the police exam, aced it, like literally aced every aspect of the exam, but when it came to the physical part, he failed because of his vision, and that crushed him because pretty much his dream was taken away from him. And he lived through me because I was fulfilling my dreams and I was working towards my dreams and I made my dreams happen. So pretty much he lived through that, and it was very special for him because he was like, all right, I didn't get to live my dreams, but my son is living his and he's making it happen. And yeah, he lived through me with that. So this thing was very special. I'm thankful that few months before he died, he got to see me wrestle at Madison Square Garden. And there's a moment that I think I've mentioned before. There's a moment where I went to the front of the garden to see my family and give them all the tickets for the show. And he pulled me to the side. My dad took me to my first wrestling show at the garden when I was 4 or 5 years old. And he pulled me to the side that day and he goes, yo, it's crazy how so many years ago I brought you to see all your favorite wrestlers, and today I'm here to see my favorite wrestler. And that moment like lives with me. Yeah, so yeah, man, I'm thankful. I'm like, when I think back on the last few years, man, like I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change anything because all the dark times, all the struggles, everything that I've been through led me to where I am today. And today I'm the greatest fucking version of myself that I could ever ask for. So I'm thankful.
Mano, y hablando de esa mejor versión, I'm gonna say something in Spanish. Y es que el 14 de junio TNA va a estar presentando Against All Odds en el Cicero Stadium de todos los lugares en el mundo, en Chicago, Illinois, un venue bastante histórico para los
Yep.
latinos. Tú tienes historia y tienes experiencia ahí también. Los boletos están a la venta ahora mismo en tnawrestling.com. Hay muchos mexicanos, hay mucho boricua en la zona, hay mucho colombiano y
Mm-hmm.
salvadoreño. Dense la vuelta, no se van a arrepentir. Tiene es algo completamente distinto a lo que ustedes han experimentado y todo el mundo tiene que hacerlo, tiene que experimentar esto en persona. Así que el 14 y 15 de junio, 14 y 15 de junio si no me equivoco, van a estar presentándose sábado 15, específicamente es el evento Against All Odds, y los tapings si no me equivoco son el día antes. La verdad es que el 15 es el evento, es Against All Odds, no se lo pueden perder por nada del mundo, tiene wrestling.com para boletos. Santana, y creo que no soy la única persona que dice esto. Thank God que volviste a casa, mano.
Yeah.
TNA is your home. TNA was always your home. I'm not even gonna ask why you picked TNA in the first place of all places, because it makes all the sense in the world. ¿Qué se
Yep.
siente estar de vuelta en casa?
It's an amazing feeling. When I showed up in Vegas and I walked through that tunnel, it was like it was like I was being born again. You know, it was like man, like when I try to pinpoint like specific feelings, it's so hard because there was so many emotions going on at the same time. But it felt so good to like be back in a place where like that taught me so much and that gave me so many opportunities. And yeah, I'm thankful, man, because the team that we have here at TNA is unlike any other. You know, like, and everybody who steps in the TNA locker room from outside, they say it. They're like, "Yo, this is one of the tightest locker rooms and the tightest teams in pro wrestling." And I'm so thankful that it's maintained that reputation, because when I was here before, it was just like that. We were a big family. We all had the same mindset. We were all here to help each other grow and help each other prosper. And I'm thankful that we haven't lost that same mentality. And man, I'm excited. Like, they, you know, once everything was settled and done, I remember taking a moment to myself, and I was like, thank God. You know, like, I was like, this is it, you know. And everyone that I spoke to, and like, I have great relationships with everyone, and I'm excited for what the future holds. You know, like, this is a place where I know I'm going to be able to grow, where I know that my creativity and my opinions and my thoughts are going to be, you know, taken serious and into consideration. And yeah, man, like, at the end of the day, like, a lot of people in wrestling is just me. And I, like, yeah, I want to grow, and I'm going to continue doing what I can to grow, but I also want to continue helping grow the company and move it forward the same way that I did before. You know, when we were here before, TNA was in a very tumultuous time, I could say, and we were in a big transition. And you know, LAX took the reins, and we took the company and brought it to a whole new, you know, playing field. So I plan to do the same thing today, and thankfully we have an amazing team, and we're gonna keep it going, man. Like, I'm excited. It feels good to be back.
Bienvenido de vuelta a casa for time purposes, porque Ross me va a arrancar la cabeza si no avanzamos. Guru tiene una pregunta. Puerto Rico tiene lo suyo. Logísticamente, el último territorio, llevamos más de 51 años de historia. Para mí el top 5 está claro. Está Sabio, está Rey González, está Pedro Morales, que es el primer campeón triple corona.
Yep,
Por ahí está Chiqui Star también. Pero,
yep.
man, Patriarca solamente hay uno. Y nosotros no pudimos tenerlo en el 50 aniversario de WWE. No voy a hacer la pregunta, Guru, mete mano, porque es que... ¡How!
Carlos Colón. No lo vemos en aniversario 50, pero lo vamos a ver en junio 8 en The Puerto Rican Weekend. House of Glory Wrestling. Carlos Colón va a hacer su presentación en New York después de tantos años. Mike
Yep.
Santana, ¿cómo se siente tener el héroe, el mejor luchador que ha tenido Puerto Rico, el acróbata de Puerto Rico, Carlitos Colón en New York?
I can't even put into words how special this moment is going to be. You know, like you said, he is the OG of OGs. You know, like, he is the guy who took the island on his back and said, "Yo, aquí estamos," right? And yeah, to be able to have him part of the show that I'm doing with House of Glory, it's a huge deal, especially on the Puerto Rican weekend, right? Everybody knows that this is the biggest celebration of Puerto Ricanos in New York City. So to be able to have him there as part of my show, and you know, at the end of the day, we want to honor him for all the contributions that he's made to our culture and the sport in general. So, you know, it took a lot, but thankfully we were able to make it happen. And huge shout out to House of Glory. And yeah, it's gonna be a special time and a special moment. And we got you know, Eddie and Orlando coming too. So yeah, man, it's a huge deal. Like I said, I wanted to present the past, the present, and the future of Boricuas in pro wrestling. So that's my mission, and that's exactly what I want to do. And there's still some more announcements to be made. Um, and yeah, I'm excited. Like, it's gonna be a huge Boricua party. You know, we're gonna have the salsa blasting through the arena. We're gonna have you know, good food and a good time, man. So I can't wait. It's gonna be a special time for sure.
Mucho ocurriendo. Vamos a wrap this up con un mensaje final. 8 de junio, House of Glory. La parada puertorriqueña es al otro día, mano. It's gonna be a huge party para todos los boricuas allí. Dense la vuelta. No todos los días pueden tener a la acrobata de Puerto Rico en
Yeah.
Nueva York con Eddie y con Orlandito. Los Colón en un solo lugar. Es como que de lugar la mente a cualquiera. Y Mike Santana también representando la cultura, representando a Puerto Rico. Nuevamente, el documental sale el lunes en el canal de YouTube de TNA. No se lo pueden perder. Esto es un must watch. O sea, rara la vez decimos must watch. Esto es un must watch. Si nos vieron medios emotional en la entrevista, mala de nosotros, it got us, mano. O sea, para mí esto no es una entrevista. Somos tres boricuas hablando de los diferentes
Exactly.
struggles de la vida. Y yo creo que eso es lo que da el documental. Da esa esperanza de un mejor mañana y de que todo en algún momento va a mejorar, no importa cuán apretado estés en este momento. Así que Against
Yep.
All Odds, el 15 de junio, Cicero Stadium en Chicago, en Illinois, también disponible en Fight TV para pay-per-view. Mike Santana va a estar en acción, van a haber grandes encuentros. Mike Santana está como singles wrestler, así que póngale el ojo a esa lucha por el campeonato mundial de TNA. Uno nunca sabe qué pueda pasar por ahí o en el de la división X, ahí no sabemos. O sea, Santana apareció en TNA en Las Vegas de la nada, nadie lo vio venir. Santana llevó a Carlos Colón a Nueva York, nadie lo vio venir. No le despeguen los ojos de encima. Any last words for the fans out there, brother?
Let's keep it going. Thanks for the support, and I appreciate all of y'all taking this ride with me. I'm just getting started.
Fuimos entonces, brother. Gracias por el tiempo. Mike Santana, de PR para el mundo, puñeta. Guru y Michael para Lucha Libre Online, porque en español nadie lo hace mejor. TNA, House of Glory, el documental, mucho ocurriendo. No le despeguen los ojos de encima a Mike Santana.